Hi everybody, Alex Deployer from Expert Forex, and I hope this video gives you lots of money-making Forex trading ideas. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly about Forex Robot settings. So one day back in the past, people started developing robots to automate their Forex trading. Other people wanted to get into Forex Robot trading because they were either good, bad, or ugly. The good gringos created their own robots to automate the boring and routine trading activities. But at heart, they remained manual traders. The bad gringos used other people's robots and tried to make them their own by optimizing, calibrating, and backtrading them. And then the ugly gringos bought other people's robots and expected to be supplied with settings that would make them filthy rich. So that is the story so far, and let's go on with it. So here are three gringos. Now, as we go through this video, please try and identify which gringo represents your trading approach the best. They are the main archetypes of EA traders, and it'll be quite interesting to see how you identify with these guys. Also, it's going to be interesting to see who wins the fight. Now, if you've watched the movie, you'll know the answer. Also, please excuse me, I'm going to be reading the slides because I've realized that a lot of YouTube participants actually listen to the videos. So here we have the good gringo. The good gringo is experienced at Forex trading with a good knowledge of fundamental and technical analysis. He has a number of manual Forex trading systems that work really well with a good track record. Now, these gringos started to use Forex robots to firstly just find trading opportunities. Robot can sift through the whole market and find a trading opportunity a lot faster than watching screens. The robots also created market information for them, which currencies are trending, which ones are going sideways, that kind of information. The robots also managed trades after they had been entered. For instance, the double and a day EA that we have and the grid trend multiplier is actually meant to be used after you have entered trades and you know where you want to get in and where you want to get out. The EA manages the trade for you. And then manages aspects of the trades that are boring and routine. Again, finding trades, managing the trades. There's a whole lot of EAs that help you with the boring part of trading. Robots can also automate the weaknesses in their trading platform, like the trading panel that will be coming out pretty soon. Robots will save time, save their eyesight in that they don't have to watch the charts all the time, and they mainly use robots as tools to make money. The robot is their servant, they are the master of the robot, and they know exactly how to instruct their servant to do what they want it to do. So very rarely they would use total set and forget or continuously traded EAs. But when they do, they know the strengths and the weaknesses of these robots and use them accordingly. These good gringos are hard, experienced, calculating traders that know what and why they are doing things. They become quietly more confident every day. So those are the good gringos or good traders. Then we're going to look at the bad gringos or the bad traders. The bad gringos are clever but lazy. They got ahead by squeezing blood out of a stone rather than being creative themselves. They have no time to learn to trade or to learn about money management and things like that. But these gringos have heard that optimization and calibration can short-circuit their path to untold wealth that will buy them a cattle ranch to retire on. So these gringos would mindlessly optimize ill-gotten robots in an attempt to find settings that will make them lots of money. Although they suspected that highly successful historic settings in the past are unlikely to repeat in the future, their lust for money and success totally blinds them to the truth and reality. They keep on buying the numbers that won in last Saturday's lotto for this week's draw and expect to win. They ignore the weaknesses of EA and use them in any type of market because they have no experience on what to do. Because they don't have money management skills, they often over leverage their trading positions and incur severe losses. They often become really bitter and revengeful because things do not work for them all the time, and they try and find other people to blame for their results. Okay, so that's the bad gringo. So let's have a look at the ugly gringo. Now, these are the ones that you've got to be very careful of. What they lack in ability to work hard and be creative and clever is made up by an extreme greed to get something or anything for nothing or for as little as possible. And this would severely get them into hot water situation, hence the tie around the ugly gringo's neck. They honestly believe that if they could find a robot with a good track record and find the settings from somewhere, they could merely activate the robot on a $200 account and every trade will be perfectly successful and make them millions in a matter of time. All they have to do is pay the VPS fee. They have no idea or no interest in position sizing, looking at drawdowns, controlling Forex risks, doing money management, and looking at the state of the Forex market on the whole. And then, obviously, as a result of their trading experience, they become even more bitter, more ugly, and revengeful, and they become a big danger to themselves and others who might get in their way. Now, to get into the real subject of this video, both these gringos, the bad gringo and the ugly gringo, believe that the Forex Robot settings is the main answer to all their problems in life. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at robot settings and setting files in particular in a little bit more detail. So when an EA or a Forex Robot is optimized, it answers the question of what worked best in the past. It also gives some other statistics such as drawdowns and other success factors. For a period decided on by the trader, and with the benefit of perfect hindsight, the optimization process sifts through sometimes billions of combinations of settings to find the setting that has produced the very best results in the past. This makes the settings extremely unique and statistically unlikely to ever repeat again. Now, many gringos then take these settings and save them in a set file. And then when the word gets out, and it will, thousands of other gringos desperately want to get their hands on these settings and set files. And that's when things get really nasty and ugly. So let's have a look at the weaknesses of set files. Now, if you want more information about set files and how they work, please click on the link that you will see up here, and you can view these two videos for more information on set files. So let's talk about the reasons why set files will not work for two different traders. So if Mr. Ugly has got a set file from Mr. Bad, let's see what will prevent Mr. Ugly from succeeding when he's trading. Obviously, with a bit of luck, he might succeed, but there are many factors that are against that. Firstly, the broker accounts might differ between the two. We have actually optimized accounts on the same broker that are of a different nature and got totally different results. So the type of a broker account you use is actually quite important. Some brokers have minimum lot sizing policies. So Mr. Bad's broker might have a 0.01 lot size policy. That would be the minimum policy lot size that he can have. But Mr. Ugly might have a broker with 0.1 minimum. Now, you're going to get totally different results if you use that set file. Now, some brokers use commission, so they charge you the spread afterwards, and others use variable or fixed spreads. Now, spread management is pretty important because brokers are inclined to extend the spreads and make them huge when it comes to major announcements and even weekends. Mr. Bad's broker might have a totally different approach to Mr. Ugly's broker. Now, again, account size will make a difference. If Mr. Ugly or Gringo Ugly is trading with a $200 account and the bad Gringo is trading with a $20,000 account, their profitability will differ due to a number of factors. Now, the broker server time zone is very important if you are using EAs that use time of day adjustment. So in other words, if you've got an EA that likes trading the UK market, and Mr. Bad has created that set file using a broker server of GMT, and Mr. Ugly's broker is GMT plus 3, they're going to be completely misaligned. That's one where alignment needs to take place. Then the daylight saving alignment, my goodness, that is just a nightmare. There could be a misalignment of 4 to 6 times a year. For instance, this year, Australia is adjusting on the 7th of October. London is adjusting on the 28th of October. New York is adjusting on the 4th of November. So in any one year, there could be 6 times when Sydney's time differs with the rest of the world, depending on where you're located. So again, depending where those set files were created, if they were created in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere or wherever in the northern hemisphere, the settings could be inappropriate because of daylight saving. Again, the spreads play a role, because when you create set files, you normally use fixed spreads, and there is an opportunity to do variable ones, but in reality the spreads vary tremendously more than what you would use in testing. So the results in set files could be overstated because of the effect of variable spreads. Now again, here we get to margin requirements. Now the margin requirements, as you know, differ in the US, differ in the UK, differ in the rest of the world, and differ from broker to broker. Some brokers will give you 1,000 to 1, others will limit it to 100 to 1. So leverage is completely different. And again, if you use set files, these could play a role. Now again, trading times differ quite a lot. A lot of brokers close up sooner on a Friday than other brokers who will close maybe 2 or 3 hours later. And the opposite occurs when the market opens. There are brokers that are open a lot earlier on the open of the market on the Monday morning, and ones that are a bit later. So the trading times will differ, and if your set files are created on one broker and your broker is different, obviously there's going to be a difference. Now candle cutoff times, now that's another one that is related to these trading times. So if your broker is, let's say, GMT plus 3 and the set file was created on GMT, your candles are going to look totally different. The 4-hour candle will close off at that particular time, and your GMT candle will be closing off on a totally different time, and therefore you'll have more Friday candles and fewer Monday candles, and so on. So your candle cutoff times and even the daily candle cutoff times will be different. The candles will look different on the chart, and that can create quite a bit of a problem. Now, one of the critical success factors of an EA trading is the exact time when the EA was activated. Now, when you're testing, you just randomly say from the 1st of January to the 31st of December, or whatever time you take. But the time that you actually activate an EA is so critical, because you could be activating a trending EA in a sideways market, or you could be activating a trending EA in a trending market, and your results will be tremendously different. So the time of day, if Mr. Bad has created a set file and he started trading it on the 1st of January, and Mr. Ugly got hold of that set file and started trading in the middle of January, they are going to give totally different results. The period that the settings were created is also quite critical. When we do set files, we would let's say run from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. If you move it just one day, just 1 or 2 days, so you move it to the 3rd of January and then you move it to the 2nd of January the next year, the optimized settings and results will change completely. And that is just totally amazing, and that's why we also say that the exact time when you activate an EA is critically important. Then obviously internet reliability. When you're testing, you're assuming perfect internet reliability, so you're assuming no slippage or no missed trades. Now in reality there is slippage and missed trades that happen when you're trading a real account. And then also you assuming that your broker communication to the server is absolutely perfect, and in reality, in practice, we have missed trades due to that particular reason. And then in general, if we look at it, the general thing, set files go out of date. So let's say Mr. Bad created his set file on the 1st of January and Mr. Ugly only got hold of it in the middle of March, 10 weeks later. The set file might be totally out of date and inappropriate. Also, set files, as I've mentioned earlier, are likely to be over-optimized and curve-fitted. And then set files obviously don't cater for special news events that occur at the time that you're actually using them. For instance, there could be a US election, there could be all kinds of things going on that the set file hasn't taken into account and that you manually have to take into account. So on the whole, the message that I'm saying here is that don't put excessive weight on the reliability of set files. Set files on the whole are totally unreliable. Firstly, because they are created by different parties, but secondly, inherently, they are not robust. So after all that negative, what is the solution? So one of the solutions is to trade like the good gringo, learn manual Forex trading, use robots the way they've been intended to be traded. And if you want more information, refer back to the good gringo slide. If you're forced to use provided set files, become a pessimist and a realist. Now, I don't often ask people to become pessimists because doesn't sound too good, but it is very good in Forex trading. Assume the set file and the robot will not work until you are convinced that they will. So that means demo trade it, test it, do whatever you have to do, but be a pessimist. Don't let greed and impatience cost you a lot of money. Then clearly you must understand exactly how the set files were created, where they were created, what kind of account, what time zone, all those type of things. You need to know all of that if you're going to use a particular set file. Then, as I've mentioned before, test these settings for a month on a demo. Don't go live until you are fully confident. Also, when you do go live, use low lot setting, the smallest lot setting that you could possibly use to reduce the initial risk of the EA. When you get a set file, a lot of people just plug it in and start trading. Review every single setting in the set file carefully and make sure that they do not conflict with your broker or your broker account. And for instance, you need to align the time zones. You need to make sure that your maximum spread settings and your minimum lot sizing applies to your particular broker. So go through every setting. It doesn't take long, but at least you will have learned how the robot works if you go through every setting. And then also run the settings on the MT4 tester. Very easy to do, and see what kind of results you get by running it there. Just bear in mind you will never get the same results as the person who supplied you with the set files for all the reasons that I've already mentioned. And then make a plan on how you're going to update these set files in the future. A lot of people don't update their set files. They use a different method. So in other words, they would start out with set files. They'd have a look at their results, and then from the results they'll be able to tell, oh, my stop is too big or my target is too small, blah blah blah, and then they go and make those changes to the actual set files. And that's actually the best way of doing it, and that way you come up with settings that over the long run will improve your results. But when you do use the set files, please take full responsibility and ownership for those set files, because you can't then blame somebody who has given you the set file for the results that you're getting. You have to take full ownership and responsibility. The minute you use them, they are your set files. It's a bit like buying a car. The minute you drive it out of the supplier's property, the car is yours. It is no longer theirs. Same thing applies to set files. And then obviously learn to create your own set files as quickly as possible so you don't need to rely on other people's set files. So after watching this video, which gringo are you going to be? Or which gringo are you currently, and which gringo do you want to move towards? If you look at the list of products that Expert Forex offers, you will see there's a lot of them that I've mentioned before in terms of Finder. There's a whole lot of Finder products here. There's also a lot of informational products, transactional management products. Double in a day is, for instance, a top-up EA. The grid trend multiplier is a grid transaction management EA. So that's why they are called trading tools and not continuously set and forget EAs. Here are some set and forget EAs. Again, if you're going to use set files for them, make sure that they are aligned to your personal circumstances. And make sure that you test them for a month or so to make sure that you're happy with the results that you're going to get. Now, this hasn't been a very optimistic video, but I believe that when it comes to robot settings, it's best to regard them with a degree of pessimism, and that will save you a lot of money in the future. Now, I hope I've given you some ideas about Forex trading and given you a perspective on EA trading as a whole. Thanks for watching this video. If you've liked it, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and click the bell. But most importantly, share this video. You can do this in many ways. Message your friends, send them emails, or share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and those kind of places. So from me, Alex Aploy, cheerio.